What's the pressure look like for Miami? Mario Cristobal, win totals at 8.5.
It's juice over like crazy, right?
Correct. Minus 188.
I mean, this schedule is not that bad. If you go 8-4, like he's totally fine. I think he's fine for a long time there.
I think he is too.
The concern for me on this schedule is that you get Florida, Florida State, and Louisville all consecutively.
Like it's backloaded, right?
And they're early, yeah.
Or no, maybe somebody else has got it backloaded. Okay.
So it's like that's even with a bye or whatever in between, that's still kind of a tough run of 3 really big games for you in the league. And then obviously the Florida rivalry game. But like getting Florida and Florida State back to back that's tough. But just I don't think Mario's in any trouble as long as the floor doesn't absolutely bottom out. But I will point out this trend with Miami and their coaches. Mark Richt gets hired, goes 9 wins in his first season, 10 wins in his second season, backslides for the first time to 7 wins, gone. In comes Manny Diaz, 6 wins, 8 wins, backslides to 7 wins, gone. Mario comes in, 5 wins, 7 wins, 10 wins. If he backslides to 8 wins, I don't think he's gone, but history suggests he might be.
Yeah, but Manny was only really gone because the power players there like really wanted Mario. Had like a close personal relationship with Mario, like from high school, and are billionaires. So I think that there's a lot of ego at stake for those guys as well. It's like they were the one that pushed Manny out. Manny's now doing really well at Duke. I mean, it's Duke, so it can be total up and down. But I think he's got a lot of runway, man.
But if you finish year 4. In the last 2 years, you spent big money on Cam Ward, and then you spent big money on Carson Beck. You've brought in a new defensive coordinator. You brought in a lot of new players on the defensive side of the ball. You've pumped a lot of money into this program. And if you haven't won the ACC or at least gotten to the playoff after 4 seasons, you don't think there would start to turn up the heat just a little bit?
I think there would be some, hey, man, like, what are we doing here? You know, and the point about the schedule is so well made. I mean, you're blowing your first 2 bye weeks before Halloween. And then, I mean, your host Stanford shouldn't lose that, right? You're at SMU, host Cuse, host NC State, at Vatech, at Pitt. I'm going to tell you from like the perspective of a player in South Florida, you're going into all those games thinking like you're better than those teams. And athletically, you probably are. But that, with no buys, that is a lot of time to have a slip up, for sure.
A slip up like cheating on your girlfriend slip up?
Wow. I'm pulling for Carson and Hannah. I think those 2 kids, they can get it together. You know, just let's let
hey, just trust your family, okay? If somebody comes,
did he get the cars back?
I don't.
That's a good question. I don't think they did. They got 1 or 2 of them back. They didn't get all 3. But we are talking about a series of bad choices.
Yes.
I mean, that to me, and you guys can think I'm kidding or not. I do think that does bleed over into your play as a quarterback. Like you have to be smart to be a quarterback. You have to have a high football IQ, but you also just have to have a smart IQ. And you can't. This is multiple times that he's been burned from just snapping whatever. Do you not realize they can either screen grab it or they can take pictures of it with another phone that it's you?
The point of making mistakes is you're supposed to learn from them. And when you make mistakes and you don't learn from them and you keep making the same mistakes, I'm with you, Danny. I think it's a red flag.
My Miami guy was like, offensive leadership for this team is going to be one of the major questions. And I was like, so Beck, he's like, well, clearly, yeah, but also like losing Restrepo, losing Arroyo, some of those guys, like they cared, they played hard, like they held other folks accountable. So we'll see how that looks, but they should be a whole lot better on defense. Like a whole lot better.
I mean, I think that will Miami fans start to grumble if this is an 8-4 type season?
Absolutely.
Tweets. Yeah. Yes, of course.
But the internet fans are not the ones who make the decisions on the future of a head coach.
If they're 8-4, who the 4 losses coming to? This goes to like the same thing we're talking about with Florida State, and they're not coming off a 2-win season. Like they put all this money in there. If they're 8-4, I think there's frustration. again, I don't think they're making a change. I think he has a really, really long leash because of some of the ties, the investment in him and the belief in him. But if you're 8-4, it is kind of there are going to be some hard conversations going into the next season.
Yeah, if they lose 4 games, you have to assume one of them is the Notre Dame opener.
Right.
And then the other 3, SMU on the road, that is a team. I don't know. It's hard to say because Miami was a team that nearly lost a bunch of games last year that it shouldn't have, and then eventually did. So it's like if they're anything like last year's team, we've seen they tend to play to their opponent.
I mean, they had a 21-0 lead in the final game of the regular season. Win, and you're into the ACC championship. Make the ACC championship, and you're probably at worst an at-large pick for the college football playoff, and they let it slide.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it wasn't, all one thing. A lot of things went wrong in that game, and a lot of things went right for Syracuse, but that's don't let that be the familiar thread for Mario Cristobal moving forward. Something to keep an eye on for sure.